Okay, so today is the 25th of February of 2026. I'm going to say something that maybe you agree with, maybe you disagree with. You're entitled to your opinion. Um, if you disagree, please comment why. If you agree, please comment why. Um, I have my own view of this, so here goes. I think both right-wing conservative parties in the United States are basically done. I don't think either of them have any legitimacy anymore, especially the Republican Party. I don't like conservatives, people on my right, generally speaking, because they effectively give me all the reason in the world not to like them, because they have a habit of constantly lying, not engaging in reality, insulting me and my intelligence for no other reason than they act like rapists. They just try to force what they think, that there's no factual basis behind it whatsoever, and they will just lie and pretend that there's some authority, factual authority behind what they say, and they just make it up out of whole cloth. And if you try to pin them down on that and make them defend it, if you have enough information about it, they'll just like shift to something else. So that's my main contention. Like, I'm happy to discuss issues, but don't sit there and lie to me and pretend that you're not lying. Don't gaslight me. Like, that's what I hate about our politics today, that there's just so much brazenness, so much gaslighting, and so much like right-wingers, like their whole thing for 10 years now is just like own the libs, and I'm not a lib. The mislabeling is not very helpful either. Like, you guys do realize, perhaps you don't, that liberals and conservatives are both right-wing, and when you argue, it's just right-wing and fighting. Like, one of you is more fascist, the other one is kind of happy to go along with fascism so long as it maintains the status quo that's awful for all of us. But as long as they can keep living their cushy little lives, they're happy to screw people over, throw marginalized people under the bus. It doesn't matter. Black and brown people, women, people to their left, like, they're always happy to punch left. And, I'm starting to wonder if this whole dialogue about, like, it not being left versus right, it's, the 1% against the 99%. Like, I think it's true that it's the 1% against the 99%. It's the working class against the people that own everything and cheat us out of having a good life that would be more than doable. But I think I disagree that it's not left versus right. I think it is. Like, there is a left in this country. Most of us, I think, are on the left, whether we realize it or not. Like, people are a hell of a lot more progressive than they realize. It's just they don't identify that way because it's been stigmatized. Like, we've had the Red Scare, kind of talking points in effect for such a long time. And then there's this, like, hand-holding and being careful not to offend the sensitive snowflake right, who are bigots and racists and very evil, sadistic monsters. And as it turns out, so many of them abuse kids sexually, abuse women sexually. And they defend the worst monsters in the world. Like, they will back, they did. Like, the Republicans had somebody who had molested kids for years as the Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert. Like, Jim Jordan gave cover for the doctor at Ohio University who was molesting or sexually assaulting young men for years, and he covered it up. They are a whole bunch of fraudsters. Like Rick Scott his company committed the largest example of, was it Medicare or Medicaid fraud in U.S. history. Still in power. Trump, 34-time convicted felon, indicted on 91 offenses, who should have been criminally charged for a hell of a lot more. He's getting rich off the presidency. It's freaking obvious. He led an insurrection, which makes him not even viable. Like, he's not legally allowed to take office, but because Republicans and conservative Democrats have allowed right-wingers to stack the courts, the right gets away with so much shit. Like, the right has been attacking all of us here and around the world for decades. I'm not going to listen to some argument that that's not left versus right, because it is. The left around the world has been correct on how to manage shit. In fact, like the role of like women being center in leadership in other models of like culture and like bringing up families and stuff, having, you know, governance be run, and like basically like the idea that we can care for each other a hell of a lot better than we do. Like in society, a lot of times, most of the time, we say that's like women's work, when in reality, it's all of our responsibility collectively and culturally and socially. It makes sense. But we have catered to the fucking right, the religious right, who are hypocrites, who have been child predators for freaking forever. They've been warmongers for freaking forever. They will sign off on all kinds of punishment and torture and these very sadistic, like ritualistic ways of being absolutely awful to other human beings. I don't see leftist examples of that. I just don't. Maybe if you go far enough to the left, I don't know. Like the biggest complaint that anybody ever has had about the left, about like, you know, countries that are inspired by communism, inspired by socialism, is they kick out the bourgeoisie that are interfering with the lives of many people. China doesn't tolerate liars and bullshit artists. They don't allow it to dominate in their culture at all. They nip it in the bud. They deal with their fucking billionaires that get out of line and try to corrupt things. And I think that's right. I think MAGA like needs to be dealt with like they're a fucking mental illness, like they're a health crisis, a public health crisis that needs to be dealt with once this is done. Once we hold all these assholes accountable. Like Netanyahu, like the bad actors in the world need to be dealt with. I think all countries need to be part of the Rome Statute, and we need to have international law actually have the weight of law, like the force of law. Like if you fuck up, there are people that will come get your ass and bring you to The Hague so you can be tried. That's where Netanyahu belongs. That's where most of the members of this fucking Trump regime belong. I think a lot of the Democrats belong there too, because they went along with the genocide in Gaza. They've gone along with a whole bunch of horrible shit. Like, I think it's fucking wrong that I don't want to live in a country where I want to be here. I love my country. But it pisses me off that our country is known around the world as the great Satan for a fucking reason. Because we have committed mass atrocities. We are the leader in global terrorism. We arm and fund fucking cartels. We do all kinds of goddamn coups for these fucking corporations that don't need to exist as they are. And I'm not saying we can't have companies. I'm not saying we can't have a collective group of people working on some shit, but they have to be responsible and they can't fuck shit up for everybody. We cannot have corporations, like literally, like right now, I am beyond fed up at the idea that Anthropic, this AI company, is working with the Pentagon and is apparently caving the fucking pressure from the Pentagon that says, no, we don't want to have any of these restrictions. We want to be able to do mass surveillance on our public, and we want to be able to have AI make decisions on their own without people in the kill chain. You're talking about fucking using AI to fucking murder people. And don't you think for a fucking second that they are not going after dissidents in America? I guarantee you they already are. They went after journalists. They went after, you know, people that were just like writing stuff for like a school paper or whatever the hell, for an op-ed. The right wing is fucking evil, man. I'm not saying, like, listen, I'm not saying 100% of the right wing. I'm sure there are people that have some ideas that are somewhat reasonable, and we can discuss that shit. But on balance, I'm not a fan. Basically, my first thought is, Jesus, what kind of fucking evil shit are these assholes up to? I'm sorry, but you're an evil motherfucker if you're going to sit there and say, I think it's a terrible idea and it's immoral for us to have a single-payer universal healthcare system that covers literally everyone inside of our borders, and it doesn't matter who it is, because that's the most cost-effective way and the most moral and ethical way to do it. And by the way, it would cost half of what we're fucking paying now. And a big chunk of what we're paying now goes to a bunch of rent-seeking middlemen who don't have any business being there in the first place. If you think that is wrong, you're fucked in the head. Like, as somebody who is a BCBA, I care about safety. I care about safety. That's my number one fucking priority. And your health is related to safety. And Republicans always will vote to make you unsafe. They have been saying for years that they want to repeal and replace Obamacare. And what did they do when they finally had all the power? They're like, nope, Obamacare is done. No replacement. You know what their idea is? Basically, you get gouged to no end. And it's basically like the die faster plan. Don't get sick or die faster. That is fucking ridiculous. Republicans in this country do not believe in governance. They believe in giving all of our money. They want a direct transfer of our money into the pockets of billionaires that want to use us for whatever horrific shit that they are interested in. They don't want to pay their fair share. They don't believe in paying anything. They want to take our money and use it against us. And that is fucking ridiculous. Like, we signed the fucking Declaration of Independence for like a quarter of the fucking bullshit that we're dealing on the daily from these assholes that King George was up to. Like, what even is this? And the Democratic Party is not mounting an opposition at all. They're clapping right along, doing a fucking standing ovation when Trump does a saber rattling to go to fucking Iran, which is a big fucking country. It's like 4 times the size of Iraq. They have weapons. Whether or not they seem weak, which is because of our fucking sanctions, by the way. And again, like, they're in the position that they're in because of us. Once again, the great Satan fucked around and we installed, what, the Shah, right? We have undermined democracies all around the world and installed dictators. I don't want to hear fucking jack shit from Republicans who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They want to bitch and moan about immigration in a country that is built by and for and is driven by immigrants. We are all fucking immigrants in this country. All of us are. I mean, if you go back far enough, it is all of us. It is 100% of us. And you're going to make up some fucking bullshit reason why somebody is suddenly illegal. When just like days ago, they had every legal right to be here. And you're just going to fucking grab people, kidnap people, human traffic people, put them in horrific conditions, torture them, and do human trafficking. No, I think that makes you a Nazi. I think that makes you a fucking Nazi. And then they're doing it for profit at our expense. This shit is costing us a fuck ton of money to make a bunch of other greedy motherfuckers who are already rich even more fucking rich, committing human atrocities. And these assholes will sit there and say, oh, it's legal. No, it's not fucking legal. They know it's not fucking legal, and they're going to sit there and try to say it's legal. No, fuck the Republican Party. Fuck the other Republican Party, the Democratic Party. Fuck them. Like, a whole mess of them gotta go. They gotta go. I wish, if it's possible, I don't know how we do it, but I think we need to dissolve both of the parties. And we need like a much more rational fucking system where we have elected people that, like, honestly, I think we need to change the way we do elections. Like, we need to be like basically voting based on policies that we support rather than people with a fucking letter next to their name, because that shit's become so goddamn toxic. It's so fucking partisan. Mostly thanks to the fucking Republicans and the fucking right-wing toxic fucking media that's almost like it's infected everything now. I'm just done. I'm done with all this fucking bullshit. I want to be able to talk to my fellow Americans without them fucking lying to me, gaslighting me, and I want them to be informed on the issue so we can actually fucking talk about this shit, so we can work this shit out together. It cannot just be, oh, you're on the left, so I hate you, or oh, you're on the right. If you're on the right, be on the right, but don't be a fucking monster. And I'll talk to you. But you have to, like, if you're on the right, you have to believe that human rights are non-negotiable. And that means everybody, women, trans people, black and brown people, like, it doesn't matter what their ethnicity is, it doesn't matter what their religion is, we should all be fucking equal. We're supposed to be equal under the fucking law. And you guys act like that's not a thing. And it is a thing. It is a fucking thing. That's what it's supposed to be. How else are we supposed to do this? We cannot go back to fucking chattel slavery, which it appears we are, and that has to fucking stop. We cannot have fucking women as second-class citizens. We should not have black and brown people as second-class citizens, even though that's been the case. That's how they've treated people for far too fucking long. Like, the whole reason why they're bringing migrants here, well, one, they're trying to fuck with fucking voting. Like, every accusation is a fucking confession with Republicans. Trump fucking lied and said the Democrats are trying to rig the elections by bringing people here. And as it turns out, this shit is so they can rig the map electorally. for the Electoral College. They started sending people to fucking red states, and I kind of clocked this a while ago. So, like, you always have to pay attention to, like, what are they confessing now when they lie about what Democrats are doing? These people are dog shit, evil fucking monsters. And unfortunately, I think a lot of us are going to see a lot of human atrocities happen at their hands. And I'm worried that fucking blue MAGA assholes like a fucking Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom or Pete Buttigieg or Josh Shapiro or whoever the fuck, they'll just go along with fascism because it's profitable for these corporations. Like, they're so invested now that we're like, well, we'll keep the campaign money churning, and, you know, don't worry, when we won't be so public about it when we're killing and enslaving people. Like, this shit's fucking ugly, man. It's fucking ugly. I don't know how anybody could support this crap in America, but then again, I know, like, human beings have become very awful before with the right kind of propaganda, and I've just never been susceptible to this bullshit. I have fucking ethics. I've worked for a long time to help people in my life, and I've done a lot of work to improve myself mentally and emotionally, and I care about people. I have empathy, and that is not a weakness at all. It's a strength. It's an absolute strength. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have people volunteering the idea like, dude, you should fucking run for office. I'd vote for you. I'd fucking campaign for you. That's not a normal fucking thing. Like, people don't just say that shit to any average Joe on the fucking street. I've been selected as a leader I don't know how many fucking times. And, you know, I wasn't always trying for it. And that's not a flex. I'm just saying, like, I'm after the truth. I'm after, like, working together to fucking fix shit. And I see things the way I see them, and I call them out. I'm not fucking afraid to say the truth. And it bugs the shit out of me when people lie and people accept the lies and they spread the fucking lies. That is dangerous. That is deadly dangerous, because you get to a point where people don't know or don't even bother to find out what the fucking truth is anymore. These assholes are trying to, like, rewrite history. Fuck the Republicans, and fuck the other Republicans, the Democrats. I appreciate some of them that seem to have their heart in the right place and they're trying to do the right things, but they're caught up in this toxic fucking stew that is Washington, D.C. And the people, I think, largely are a lot more progressive. That's what they're telling people that they want. They recently did, like, they were talking to, like, some voters, likely voters for the next elections, and they were asking about who they want, the Democrats, to be, what kind of ideology they want them to be, in terms of where they are on the spectrum. And everybody said progressive. Nobody said moderate. Take that what you will. Political labels are a fucking mess, and people don't know what the hell they mean anymore. But I know that progressive policies poll extremely well, and that's not, you know, like the dishonest people were like, well, you know, if you promise people pizza, if you're going to run for class president or whatever, like, no, that's not what it is. These policies are based on people's actual fucking needs. Adults and young people, you know, people young and old need healthcare, and they can't be in a system that is totally unfair. And, you know, it's threadbare, and it's cruel, and it's confusing. We can't keep going with this, like, these mafia fucking middlemen. People need childcare. If you're going to go to work, people can't make enough money. Both parents have to fucking work. Both adults have to work. You need fucking, and if you're a single parent, God, man, it's such a hard thing now. My friends have been single parents. They had a real hard go of it, and it's too expensive. You need childcare. You need education. You need job training. Like, these things should be free. It should be baked in. Like, that's something that is afforded to us, paid for by our tax dollars. And we should have really good infrastructure. You know, we should be getting universal basic income. We could have all this shit and more, and we should have affordable housing. Everybody should have a nice home connected to publicly paid utilities that are regulated and handled by us, instead of these private entities that price gouge us. These are normal fucking things, man. These are normal things that are very popular, and those are progressive fucking policies. And the right wants nothing to do with any of that stuff. And that's why I can't stand them, because they just spit in the face of people, and they just blame people for the problems that are created by billionaires that are selfish, greedy, actually evil, sadistic people like the Republicans in both parties. And I think they both need to go away. After 250 years, maybe we should abolish both parties and get some new blood, and come up with a different system. Like, the Constitution doesn't say anything about political parties. There's nothing protecting the Democrats or Republicans or any party. Like, last I checked, like, the Founding Fathers were not in favor of the idea of having political parties. I think they thought it'd be bad for democracy, and as it turns out, it certainly seems to be the case. And also, these monsters that have decided that Citizens United would be a good decision have completely corrupted our politics, where basically we have a handful of billionaires deciding what's going to happen with our government, which is basically nothing for us and everything for them. And it's no holds barred. So they can do whatever the hell they want to, including like put PFAS on our crops. They can put Roundup on our crops, which causes cancer. They can literally make us sick. Like, when the government is so broken because of the right for decades has planned all of this stuff, where their plan is basically eugenics and genocide, so they can have their little ethno-national religious, supremacist, Christian nationalist version of what America's going to be, with, tech overlords in charge, these technates, and have like a police state. I'm sorry, but nobody fucking voted for that. And the people that said they wanted mass migration, they didn't say they wanted people busting down doors. They didn't say they wanted people killed in the street. They didn't say they wanted people to be illegally, unlawfully detained and renditioned. And that shit's not legal. And last I checked, when people run for office, they have a fucking oath that they take that's supposed to fucking mean something. And there's supposed to be ethics, and there's supposed to be rules that they follow. And they're supposed to follow the fucking Constitution. And that ain't what happened. So I don't want to hear what right-wingers have to say about any of this stuff if they're going to sit here and come in here at me with lies. Save it. I'm not interested. I'm not going to hold your hand, and I'm not even going to engage with your bullshit. I'm not going to sit there and, humor your attempt to own me. You didn't own anything. You revealed yourself to be a mentally ill, intellectual infant that doesn't understand that you are not popular. Nobody wants this. This is not going to end well. And there will be accountability. I'm not voting for anybody that isn't saying we are going to hold all these people accountable. I'm not. I'm not going to be voting for anybody who isn't going to say we need like FDR style like policies. We need to go left of FDR. We need to be strengthening workers in this country. We need to have a damn guarantee of a good life. Like, we need to revitalize the idea that yes, we can have all the shit. We just are going to have to demand that wealthy people pay a little bit more, and we need to work with our global partners so they can't escape the taxes that they owe. And if we find out that they broke the law, we're going to have progressive penalties, and we're going to have higher penalties that scale based on how much wealth you have, so you actually feel the penalty. And for companies that are repeat violators or historical violators, they're about to be publicly owned. Maybe that's a little bit tricky, but who cares? I don't care. None of this legacy fucking bullshit. You don't have a right to destroy the fucking world. That's not a thing. Anyway, I'm still sick, so it's hard for me to talk anymore. I gotta be quiet. But if you want to engage in a rational discussion, I'm happy to have a dialogue with you. But if you're just going to be an asshole, move on. I don't care. Thanks.